Warning: the following content may not be suitable for all listeners and contains crude humor that may be offensive to some. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Satire is Not Dead. Welcome back to Satire is Not Dead, everybody. I am Harvey, your host, and this podcast is going to be very short this week, and the reason being is that since I started making my podcasts, I've gotten in touch with some people who kind of coached me and gave me some advice, and one of the mistakes that I have made, and it was just out of complete ignorance of the process, is I need to make a schedule of shows. I need to have ideas ahead of time. What I'm doing right now is each week I'm trying to come up with something, and it's always playing catch up. And by the time I underestimated the time it takes to actually put a podcast together. And I really enjoy doing it, but I want to do it the right way and get ahead of get ahead of schedule, have stuff made that I can just put out and always be creating content and not trying to do it at the last minute, because it really shows when I do that. And I think last week was one of those weeks. I want to concentrate on quality of content. And not frequency. That was some of the advice that another podcaster gave me. I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts of all different sorts, just to get an idea of what's out there and what people do. And I'm not criticizing, if it works for them, then that's fine, put out podcasts every day. And I listened to several of them in the order that they put them out, and I don't get it. They don't have much to say, and they put out 30, 45, sometimes an hour's worth every day, and there's just not much to it. Whereas that's the air conditioner you hear in the background. I'm sorry about that, but this week's kind of off the cuff, so it's fine. We'll just let it ride for this time. I would rather work on something and have a good quality program, and even if it's once a week at first, once I develop a modest audience and I learn the process and streamline everything, then I can do more frequent programs. But for now, once a week is more than enough for me, because I have a full-time job and I work. So that's what I'm going to do for now. However, one thing I can't ignore that happened last week is that Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi are apparently unknowingly competing against one another, and they're stammering and seeing who can create the biggest word salad known to the English language. Joe Biden he gets lost and forgets what he's talking about and can't remember where he can, to pick up where he left off. Nancy Pelosi gets somewhat lost, but her problem is enunciation. And what is their problem? Both of them are very old. They've been at it for a long time, but my guess is the arteries in their head probably look like fucking balloon animals that some clown twisted at a kid's birthday party. And yes, I'm making light of their mental states, and I don't feel bad about it, and I'll tell you why. It's because they should, with their wealth and amazing retirement benefits, be out sailing or doing whatever rich politicians do and enjoying their lives at their age. The fact that they don't retire is a testament to their craving of power and influence, because they have so much money, it's pretty much meaningless to them. They're in politics for so long I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you watch the news and follow politics, these people that have been in office for so long, their skin, it just begins to look translucent over time. And why? Why does their skin begin to look like that? My guess, fuck if I know. Because they sleep in coffins. I mean, to me, they're all a bunch of vampires, blood-sucking vampires. One of the most prominent politicians, speaking of vampires, is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And if you Google her name, everybody knows who she is. And Google her name and take a look at the photos that come up, and they're not flattering at all. No, she's not a young person, but honestly, she looks like the long-lost sister of Nosferatu. So if these guys want to stay in office that long and make spectacles of themselves, then I'm going to spectate the hell out of it. And if any group deserves to be made fun of, it's friggin' politicians. So having said that, I put together a short montage of Biden and Pelosi's stuttering messes.
We can speak out and be more straightforward. I'm not going to be a mule. I got something to do. I got to go do boom, boom, boom.
Receiving people's suggestion, so they have to make an attack. They did the wrong thing.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but you're...
The Supreme Court's radical Janus decision will have drastic, destructive, and long-standing impacts.
I want to be clear. I'm not going nuts. You're a damn liar, man. That's not true. I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on it, let's do push-ups together, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do.
To be honoring them for their mathematical genius.
To the number 30330, 30330, or 303330, or POO. Wait. But you got it.
I made my statement on it.
That saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings and 2-point-something billion metric tons of CO2 going in the air.
Mathematical genius.
Well, folks, eliminate one tax loophole out of $1.6 trillion worth, $1.4 trillion worth. Out of $1.4 billion. It's hard to even say it, it's so much. I got something to do. I got to go do boom, boom, boom. And by the way, it's cost a lot of money. It cost about $740 billion over 10 years. I got something to do. I got to go do boom, boom, boom. Speak softly and carry a big stick. I promise you, the president has a big stick. I promise you.
Joe, you want to administer the oath?
Am I doing this again? My memory is not as good as... Am I doing this again? I was a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
It disproportionately affects women of color. It's outrageous that women of color die from pregnancy-related...
I got something to do. I got to go do boom, boom, boom.
Complications, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Related. Complications, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
State senators here. Chuck, stand up, Chuck. Let him see you.
Because you have no visual reference here, I have to tell you that Joe Biden just told a man in a wheelchair to stand up so everyone could see him. What a dumbass.
Oh, God love you. What am I talking about? I tell you what, you're making everybody else stand up, though, pal. Thank you very, very much. His mom lived in Long Island for 10 years or so. God rest her soul. And although your mom's still alive. Is your dad passed? God bless her soul.
So there you have it. What two old people would sound like if they were trying to make a speech while falling down a flight of stairs. That's going to do it for this week. And I would like to thank the two people that gave me some input on making my podcast. Podcast. Jamie Deluxe and Crystal Prophet. Both were kind enough to respond to my messages and actually, talk to me about how to do a podcast. And their input is valuable to me, and I just want them to know that I appreciate it. Jamie Deluxe, his last name is spelled Deluxe. He does videos on YouTube focusing on corruption in Hollywood and politics, more specifically about sexual abuse and child trafficking. And he put out some pretty interesting videos, so go check him out. And Crystal Prophet, the podcast I've listened to her, she focuses on helping other podcasters learn how to do podcasts. So look her up as well. And I encourage everyone to like and follow my podcast on Podomatic.com. And also you can follow me on Spotify. And please feel free to leave me a comment and spread the word, share it with your friends, download, because without listeners, then I'm just pretty much sitting here talking to myself. Have a great week, everybody.